What's going on, Who Dat Nation? Today on Saints Now by Chat Sports, we are diving in to some training camp updates. We got roster news, we got injury news. We have a lot to discuss here on Saints Now by Chat Sports, and of course, we're going to talk about the takeaways and observations that I've been able to see on social media, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on what's being reported out at camp. First things first, let's talk about the injuries because that is important. Kellen Moore saying that there's nothing overly concerning with Trayton Welch, Juwan Johnson, and John Ridgeway. They all three got hurt in practice. But Jordan Schultz, just moments ago, adding some context, Juwan Johnson left practice today with a groin injury. Kellen Moore originally did not disclose what the injury was, but for Jordan Schultz, he's saying, my understanding is it's not considered serious. He's expected to miss a few days at most. Reminder, he signed a 3-year, $30 million contract this offseason. He is expected to be a very large part of Kellen Moore's offenses. And we all know that Kellen Moore traditionally has leaned on the tight end position heavily in order to make his offenses run at a high level. Now, Juwan Johnson, in my opinion, should be heavily featured in this offense. It should be minor. That's what we're hearing. That's what my hope is, and I'm praying that we don't get any other updates around that. For what it's worth, I do know that there was serious interest between Kellen Moore and bringing back Juwan Johnson. I know a lot of people are upset with the 3-year, $30 million contract. It's actually not all that expensive when you compare other contracts for tight ends across the league. It's pretty average, to be totally honest, and if you can get good production out of him, and if he can stay healthy, then the New Orleans Saints absolutely cashed in and got a good deal on Juwan Johnson. But he needs to be healthy, he needs to get back on the field. So all in all, I'd say it's good news. It's not considered to be anything major, but definitely want to see him get back on the field soon. The New Orleans Saints also tried out a handful of players recently. A long list, multiple punters, multiple tackles, a DB, you got a linebacker in the mix, but none have really added to the roster. Just wanted to get you guys informed on what's been going on. There was one name that got added really quick, though. Before I go to that, you see multiple punters. My initial reaction was, well, maybe Matthew Hayball, James Burnip, the two punters that the Saints have on their roster, maybe they just aren't shining and maybe they're not that impressive, but Kellen Moore adding clarity today that they just want to be prepared. They don't know what's going to happen. They want to just make sure that they are doing all of their due diligence and giving themselves the best possible players. So for what it's worth, I still think that there's a reason they have multiple punters being brought in. But let's talk about the latest roster news. Jonathan Mendoza, the newest member of the New Orleans Saints. If you forgot, Josh Ball was recently waived, and so in response to cutting a player, they added an offensive lineman, and Jonathan Mendoza played at Louisville with Tyler Shough. He was his right tackle. He's a big fella from Westhampton Beach, New York, 6'9", 310 pounds. The dude's a behemoth. There's just no mystery. Now let's take a look at the updated depth chart for the New Orleans Saints because they've, like I said, lost or cut a player. They added another one, but not too much has changed in terms of what to expect for the entire offensive line. Kelvin Banks, Trevor Penning, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, Talese Fawanga will be your starting lineup. The backups have been rotating all over the place. You will see that Josiah Ziram has moved up on the depth chart because Josh Ball was released. He gets more reps. So Nick Saldiveri, Will Clapp, Dylan Radins, Landon Young also in the mix. Kyle Hergel, Torricelli Simpkins, and Barry Wesley as well. But Jonathan Mendoza in 2024 didn't have a ton of reps, but 490 total snaps, 67.6 overall PFF grade, 63.9 run blocking grade, allowed 2 sacks. At Louisville, allowed 3 hits, 12 hurries, 18 pressures. He had 96 snaps at left tackle, 393 on the right side. And in case you didn't know, he isn't just a teammate of Quincy Riley and Tyler Shough. He actually, fun fact, played with Mason Tipton at Yale. So he was an offensive lineman for Mason Tipton. So a couple familiar faces on the New Orleans Saints roster for Jonathan Mendoza, who is the newest member of the Black and Gold. I want to encourage you to subscribe here to Saints Now by Chat Sports. That way you don't miss any roster news, any injury updates, or anything going on around the Black and Gold. We provide multiple videos a day. We film this as a part of our weekly live show, so be sure to turn on your notifications, hit the sub button, and tune in so that way you can be a smarter Saints fan. Let's continue this conversation because I want to discuss kind of takeaways and how things have gone and what has happened with the quarterback position. Nick Underhill made a really, really good point here. All of the clips, everything that I've seen, all of the people that I've talked to, They all agree with this sentiment that this was the best period of quarterback play we've seen all camp. The offense, it really feels like, is starting to kind of find its groove. It's starting to kind of click, if you will. Like Nick Underhill points out, see if it keeps up. Friend of the show, big fan of what he does over at NOF Network, and definitely encourage you to subscribe over to NewOrleans.football. Jake Haener today, he got the first team reps. He went 11 of 15 in team drills. Kellen Moore giving him an opportunity to compete to be the starting quarterback. And this is not anything that's super shocking to me. He got first team reps before. He's going to continue to get first team reps. But I ultimately do believe the QB1 battle truly is between Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shough, but don't get it twisted. Jake Haener has been impressive. He's been doing the work this early. He hit Olave on a nice deep ball for a touchdown. He's been impressive when he's been given opportunities, and he has not missed a chance when Olave is on the field to connect with him. I think that's smart for Jake Haener to be able to put on the best tape possible to potentially have the best chance to succeed in this quarterback battle. But let's go to Spencer Rattler here. He took the second team reps. He did have a pretty impressive deep ball to Moochie Dixon and Mason Tipton on today. That connection between Mason Tipton and Spencer Rattler, it is strong, ladies and gentlemen. It was strong last year. It was strong in training camp last year. It was strong during the regular season last year, and it's continuing right now. At one point in time, we did get to see Spencer Rattler show off a little bit of the wheels. He ran to the outside on a bootleg. He moves really, really well with the ball in his hands. He's elusive. He's quick. He has underrated speed, in my opinion. And he started today on team drills, 9 of 9. The only incomplete pass was the last one. That was during the team drill portion of today's camp. Mason Tipton, though, I want to continue to have a conversation around him because he is the definition of a training camp all-star. He is having yet another great camp, an amazing summer. We have to see it in game action, though. It doesn't feel like he is shining and putting on good tape at training camp on accident. I truly do believe he has some dangerous speed. I do think that he can be an underrated wide receiver. I'm not saying he's going to be an 1,000-yard player, but I do think that he can offer something as a low-level wide receiver on the depth chart, and that can be a reliable player when the starters are off the field or if you have to deal with injuries. Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shough hopefully can continue that chemistry built with Mason Tipton, but he is absolutely shining. Quincy Riley, though, man, this guy was a steal. Drafted 131st overall in round 4. Today had his second interception during training camp. And it was, again, on Spencer Rattler today. He tried to go deep to Bub Means, a little bit underthrown. Don't get it twisted, though. Quincy Riley swooped in like a hawk, took that ball right out of the air, said, that is mine. Stole Bub Means' lunch money, picked off Spencer Rattler. Quincy Riley, I don't know how in the hell this guy fell to the 4th round, but what a steal for number 29. And also, I'll say this, it feels like the Saints won the transaction of letting Paulson Adebo walk in free agency. He signs with the Giants. You draft Quincy Riley. He's wearing number 29 too, and he's already shining. I'm so excited to see him suit up on Sundays. You know what else you could get on Sundays? You should suit up in this shirt right here. I keep trying to tell you guys to take advantage of the sale. It was a $60 shirt. Now it's only $30. Chatsports.com/Saints sale. The link is clickable down below in the comments and description of this video. Go get yourself some new swag. Make sure you're prepped for any workout or any training camp, or just want to watch some football on Sundays. You want to throw on some Chris Olave highlights. You want to throw on some Alvin Kamara highlights. I get a little sweaty when I'm watching Alvin Kamara absolutely dice and slice and do some crazy stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, I got my shirt with this link. You should too. Tyler Shough, he took the 3rd team reps today. We talked about the first team. We talked about the second team. Now it's time to talk about the 3rd team. He did show off some of that speed and mobility that he's been commended on. He does have very underrated traits in his athleticism, especially when it comes to using his legs. He had some impressive throws on the run, a little bit of off-platform kind of running to the side. Had his legs stuck out, sidearm throw, connected. It was really, really impressive. During team drills, 3 of 5, so got less reps. Just wanted to kind of tell you guys what's going on. I'm not going to sit here and say think too deeply about the completions and incompletions during the team drills. Defense makes plays. Things happen. Players drop balls. And I'll also say this. I do think it's interesting. We haven't necessarily seen a ton of 3rd team reps from Spencer Rattler. You've seen more from Tyler Shough, so maybe that's indicative of how Kellen Moore is feeling about the quarterback battle. Maybe I'm speculating and just reading too deep into it. This was a good day for the offense. Like I said earlier, it feels like this unit is starting to click, and it's nice to see because early on, the defense was winning a lot of the training camp days, in my opinion. But the offense is starting to look better. It's starting to take form, and I think it's starting to click. And, of course, this is not going to be an offense that week one is going to be absolutely flying. Maybe it is. But this is an offense that you give it some time, and we'll really get to see the creativity and how much this offense truly has hidden up its sleeve. Kellen Moore, I think, is orchestrating a beautifully run offense, and I'm really, really eager to see what he's able to do with the squad. And quite frankly, I'm just excited to see fun Saints offense, fun football. Like, it's just going to be different than it has been over the last few years. I'm really, really excited about that. Now, are you excited about the new Saints offense? Just give me a simple yes or a simple no down in the comment section. I want to hear from you, Who Dat Nation. And Saints fans, I do appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with us. 10.5 minutes, but we were able to get you guys all the information you needed to know from training camp. Roster moves, injury updates, QB battles, everything you need to know here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. That's Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.